Welcome everyone, this is Zozostockwatch, and this is your stock watch list for Wednesday, August 23rd. So after the bell, we had some earnings that came out, so I'm just going to go through those real fast. We had INTU, and INTU beat by 3 cents and beat on revenues. That was INTU. They did drop, but then they came back and picked it right back up. So INTU, not too much damage there. Next one up was CRE. And CRE had earnings, and their earnings per share came in line, and they beat on revenue for CRE, but you see the drop there. So CRE down in the after hours tonight. It's about 7:07 my time. Next up, we had VNet, and they missed by a penny, and they missed on revenue, and you see the stock was selling a bit. VNET selling a little bit in the after hours. ARY misses by 6 cents, missed on revenue. And let's get the right chart up for you. ARAY. And basically a barcode chart, so not much going on there in ARAY, but they missed by 6 cents and missed on revenue. We did have CRM, Salesforce, another big name after the bell. They came in earnings per share beat by 1 penny and beat on revenue for CRM. You see it popped, dropped, and then kind of just flagged off. So not too much damage there. Maybe down a tad on CRM. Let's see if there was any other earnings. Yeah, Lazy Boy, LZB. And Lazy Boy, they missed by 8 cents and missed on revenue for Lazy Boy, and that stock dropped in the after hours. I don't know if does that mean anything for the housing market. You know, some names like Toll and Lennar and things like that. You know, usually if people are buying houses, you know, the missus is buying furniture. So, but anyway, Lazy Boy dropped, and I'm just scrolling through to see if there's any other earnings I wanted to bring out. Those are the big ones, pretty much, after the bell. We had ZTO. They came out with earnings. ZTO, and that one beat by a penny but missed on revenue on ZTO, so that stock was dropping in the after hours. And I think that was the last one I had. So there's your earnings for from after hours tonight, and we'll go ahead and get into it now. All right, and like I always like to do, I like to start out with the overnight futures. Like I said, it's about 7:10 p.m. Eastern time, my time, and we're up about 11 points on the Dow futures. The S&P futures are up 1. The NASDAQ futures are up about 5 in the early trading session of the futures. For your calendar of events for tomorrow, let's see, companies that are reporting for Wednesday. Before the bell, we have AEO. American Outfitters, let's see, or American Eagle. Which one is that? Let's see, AEO. Sorry, I don't do a lot of, here we go. AEO is American Eagle Outfitters. ALOT. Next up we have, whoops, click that again. And next up we have CHA, EV, EVLV, EXPR, KLXI, Lowe's, LOW, reporting earnings after the bell. Before the bell tomorrow. That's LOW before the bell. And RGS reporting before the bell tomorrow, Wednesday, August 23rd. After the bell, we have that CO, DL, EDAP, GES, HEI, HPQ, IMUC, LCI, LTRX, PVH, SQM, TLYS, and WSM, Williams-Sonoma. So those are reporting after the bell tomorrow. We did have the API crude oil data come out at 4:30 tonight, and I'll go through that in a moment. As far as your economic information for tonight, at 8:30, we have the Japanese PMI Manufacturing Index coming out at 8:30 Eastern Time tonight. For tomorrow morning, Wednesday the 23rd, MBA mortgage applications, new home sales at 10 o'clock. Then we have the EIA USO petroleum oil status, so watch the USO, I should say. We do have some Fed speak coming out tomorrow at 1:05 p.m. Robert Kaplan. And don't forget, this Jackson Hole symposium is starting, and so let's see, I think Yellen is speaking on Friday at 10 o'clock for the symposium. I'll get back to you in a later video, tomorrow night's video, and with that information, but I think she is speaking Friday at 10 o'clock. So there's your economic information. For your earnings call for tomorrow, you have BORN, RY, CNTF, Lazy Boy, ENLV, Lowe's in the 9 o'clock hour, LOW, AEO in the 9 o'clock hour, EXPR, what else? RGS in the 10 o'clock hour. After the bell tomorrow, for your earnings conference calls, LCI, GES, LTRX, HPQ, and WSM. And that is from our friends at Earnings Cast conference calls. For your top gainers for today, we had EBR, KIRK, CLRB, DSW, RT, RDNT, FARM, BPMC, CIG, and VVC was a big popper today. In the top losers, BZUN, BZUN, TEDU, Momo, big loser today. TEAR, TEAR, SAEX, CMCM, AMWD, COTY, RDFN, and ARCI, and AU. So those were some of your top losers for today. Next up, we had some of your call activity, and today was an up day, so we have a lot of call activity. Adobe, APC, FireEye with the call activity today. Groupon, GRPN call activity, Kroger's, KR, LKQ, NEM, NWL, which is Newell Brands, Snap call activity, YNDX, and ZIOP, ZIOP. To the put side, put call activity, put activity, unusual. GGP was the only one, the lone ranger there for that one. So there's your call and put activity for today. So let's go ahead and look at some of the markets. Yesterday I titled my YouTube video Bulls Show Up, and they did. They showed up at the 100 SMA for the SPY. And today we got the follow-through day. So today was a follow-through day. But now we're coming up to overhead resistance, and I guess you'd call it supply. The 20 SMA is up there on the SPY. So we'll see, if the bulls can continue this. So, if there's no Politico news, it seems actually a little quiet, believe it or not. If I guess we'll get a continuation move tomorrow. I mean, we are coming up to that 20 SMA, so we'll have to watch that on the SPY, that 246.09, so we'll call it 246. So we'll be watching that on the SPY if we get up there for tomorrow. Just some other markets to go through quickly, just to give you an idea of what's going on. So the IYT did bounce, right? We came in, we bounced, but we did lose the 200 SMA. Now, we'll have to see if this is going to be like a fake out, a break of the 200, right? So then shorts come in here and they think, okay, man, we broke the 200. Now it's ripping down to the 300 SMA or down to 160 on the IYT, and then they turn it up on them. So, but that still has work to get over the the 20 SMA. So we're not out of the woods there on the IYT. And some of the airlines still not looking too good. AAL, LUV, DAL, LUV, DAL making new lows here. JetBlue, let's check that one out. So no big bounces there. I mean, FedEx did okay. So FedEx was all right, and let's check out UPS. That one's trading well for them, and CSX, a railroad. You know, coming up off the lows here a little bit. UNP, Union Pacific, coming up to the 50 SMA now on the UNP for the railroads. For the IBB, you know, we came down to that 100 SMA. So this is kind of why I like these moving averages. I like the 50 SMA, the 100 SMA, the 10 SMA, the 200, the exponential 13. You know, I just keep that there for, you know, laughs, I guess, but it comes in handy. But the 20 is more important. The 400 and the 300 show me, you know, some oversold. If we get down to a 400, maybe we get some oversold condition there. The 300, the same thing, and they can act as resistance too. And then you have the 150, which can act, you know, as resistance or support. So that's this dotted line right there. And then the exponential 5 moving averages. You know, when you're above that, usually, you know, good things continue to happen, and you can see a lot of charts that ride the trend, usually ride the 5 EMA on the way up. So speaking of that, on the IBB, we are back above the 10 and the 5, and we are back above the 13. And we do have the 50 coming up and the 20. So that's the IBB, LABU, which is probably going to be similar. And it is. And that's LabU. And then we have XBI, the smaller biotech names, coming right up to the 50 SMA. And I like to keep my 50 SMA in the yellow. So you see that right here. So, you know, still some work to do. Nice recovery. I'm not going to take that away from the bulls. We held that, you know, 74 area. And now we're bouncing up. We're at the 50 SMA. So good job by the bulls. Now the next test is getting over the 50 SMA for the XBI. XLF, you know, back above the 50, back above the 5 EMA. But as you can see, you know, it's kind of damaged here. We came down to 24.50. The sell-offs, the big candles down. Some traders are probably trapped, looking to take, you know, some money off here. So we'll see. And just to look at a name in the bank, JP Morgan, BAC, also, you know, that bounced off of the 200, then bounced up. But look at all this work that we still have to do on BAC and Citigroup. So, you know, we're not out of, you know, by any means, you know, they're not pretty charts anymore, you know. So let's see, what else did I want to look at? QQQ. Basically, you know, we were down here, oversold, we bounced, we're at the 20 SMA on the Qs. We were up here at the highs of 145. We pulled back to about 140. Here's that gap right above the 140 mark. That's why I have the line there. And now can we get up and over this 144 area? So, you know, still work to do there, but good recovery. IWM. Now, we had this bull-bear battle here, and you see the bottoming tails here around that 134, and this was the level that the bulls had to hold, and they did, and now we popped it up to about 136. We're back above the 5, but you see the 50 SMA is now curling over, the 20 is through the 50, so, you know, not a pretty chart any longer. But we're still in this kind of, you know, channel almost, you know, so holding, bulls held serve, and they did get their continuation. IWC, same thing, held the 84 area, now trying to pop back up. Not as much of a pop as the IWM. And SMH, this one, you know, we came down and broke down through the 50. So probably shorts came in here, and, you know, they thought, okay, we broke the 50. Now we're going to head down to probably this 100, and then there's the fake out. Now they push up and gap up, and back above the 20 for the SMH. But, you know, if you look at a name like Intel, which is the biggest holding in the SMH, you know, that chart looks like a wreck, huh? So there's the Intel AVGO. Strength. So this one has earnings, I believe, coming out this week. So AVGO is the new leader. Intel, it looks like it's a sleeper right now. NVIDIA held the 50 SMA. And then we'll go look at some Netflix. That held that 50 SMA on Netflix. Tesla didn't do so, you know, hot today, but it did hold the 100 SMA. And I'm, you know, reading a lot of stuff about electric cars. Volkswagen, who else? Ford, So everybody's getting into this electric car stuff. So maybe that's going to, you know, put a little bit of pressure on Tesla. The competition is, you know, catching up. But we did hold this 100 SMA on Tesla. Let's see, was there anything else that I wanted to look at as far as markets? Nope. So we'll go ahead and we'll get right into the watch list now. Okay, and some of these stocks come onto my watch list, so I would feel like I was neglecting my job if I didn't tell you some of this information here. So CRMD, these are top purchases after hours. We had CRMD direct to purchase 400K at 39 cents. STDY direct to purchase over 500,000 shares. DB direct to purchase 10K. VRX, so this one made it to my watch list tonight. VRX direct to purchase 10K, 1433. DISCA purchased 10K. TRN 10% owner. Value Act and purchase of 375,000. ACIW CEO purchased 5K 2132. In some syndicate news, HMNY file Form 8K. IIVI proposed convertible senior notes offering. Lake announces closing public offering of its common stock, and UNM filed Form S3. Mixed shelf on that one. So there's some news that came out after the bell, courtesy of the trade exchange. And now the watch list. Drum roll, please. I thought we'd never get here. Okay, here we go. Apple is the first one on the list, and nice recovery in Apple here off the 20 SMA. If you play these bigger ones, the obvious number here is over that 160 number for Apple. So we got the pullback off the 20. Now we're turning back up. We're back over the 5 EMA on Apple, so keep your eye on this one. Like I said, for that 160-25 break on AAPL. Boeing, another big name, and I'm going to get into some smaller names too, but I'd like to give you a nice mixture here. Boeing, as you can see, flagging, consolidating. You know, if you can get over that 240, 240.50 area on Boeing, if you like to play these bigger names. So that chart looks pretty nice. Next one up is BBY, and this one we spoke about yesterday. It did break out of this consolidation. Now we have that 62 number. There was a high on BBY at 62.36. So if you can get over that, you know, 62 number, just watch out for 62.36 and see if it'll continue up through that on BBY. And one of the best looking retailers out there, actually. CLRB, nice pop. All right, here's one of your smaller names. We popped from 150 up to 170.79. Would like, you know, maybe a slight pullback here of some sort. Over 600,000 shares traded, so it's not going to be a, you know, a great intraday trader. You know, you can see it's a little bit, you know, not volatile, but low volume, I guess you'd call it. You know, not enough steam. But if it does get some continuation, volume can always come in. So Facebook, we talked about this 166 area. We held it. Now we're turning back up. We have a high today on the Facebook of 169.87. Let's look for that 170 break on the name on Facebook, FB. FEY, this one came off of that call activity. So FireEye, FEY, nice call activity, big pop of over 5 million shares. You know, obvious number here is this 1450 mark. It would need a little more work here, more consolidation maybe, and you know, and then maybe a turn up over through that 1450 for FireEye. Grub, this one looks nice. I'm in this one myself. It's above the 5 EMA now and starting to churn back up. Let's hope no bad news comes out to wreck my trade here. 1.3 million shares on the name, and so that one, like I said, is turning back up. Groupon, which I don't have on my list, had call activity also. Keep your eye on this one, and this one over that 415 mark. So I'm gonna have to add this one to my list because I don't see it there. GRPN. But that was getting call activity today also for Groupon. And I think there's a chatter around this name. So we got this pullback the buyers come in. Now they're trying to turn it back up. There's no real moving averages in the way, so Groupon looks interesting. Grub, we talked about. IMGN. We spoke about this one before, and now we're trying to turn up. We're getting over through this consolidation. 2.2 million shares. We have a high on this candle of 662. So 665, maybe that clears a nice path for IMGN. JMEI, the big pop in this name. Then we pull back to the 5 EMA. They bounce it up. So I'll watch this one on an intraday basis. Specialty retail. So we'll see if we get a trade in this during the day. KIRK. This is another specialty retail. I'm not sure what they retail, but they had actually earnings this morning and a nice pop on their earnings. So we'll see if this can consolidate a little bit, and then maybe we get a break of 11 or so. So KIRK, big volume, big pop on that name. KTOS in the defense family here. Looking for that 1250 break. I'm not in this one anymore. We got the pullback, and so now I'm looking for it to take out 1250 again and see if we get a continuation move. LKQ, this was on the options list, and if you draw your consolidation lines here, right, you have your consolidation, your flag, right, here's your flag right there. All right, so there's the flag. Now we're trying to break out over that 3450. So keep your eye on LKQ if you can do that. Consumer cyclical auto parts. MKSI. This one has been holding the 78 spot. Now it's starting to get back over 80. The high today on the name was 80.65. So keep your eye on that. If it can get over that 80.65 mark. MTCH. Trying to get up, trying to get up through 19. Keep your eye on that. MZOR, also in this consolidation, trying to get up over 39. So it could get interesting there. NAK, we spoke about this one. Did give a nice pop. 7 million shares in this name today on NAK. We spoke about this one in yesterday's video. So keep your eye on that on NAK for intraday setup. NTNX, looking for this one to get back over 22.25 maybe, NTNX, and maybe it makes a move. It looks like, this 200 day is starting to form, right? This was a recent IPO, back in October of last year? Yeah, last year. And, so, now, if it gets over that 22.25 spot, could be interesting. NYMT, nice pop, nice volume. 635 was a resistance, and back here we had a resistance of 636. So over 636, 637. Only problem with this one is the 200 SMA is in the way currently. So that's the one drawback on that name right there on NYMT. OXPA, under $1 name. If it gets over $1, could start rolling along here. The high was 99 cents, and the volume that came in was only over 400,000 shares. SGMO, this one, if it can get over the highs today, and this one has a high of 1035. So looking for that 1035, 1040 break. SGMO for possible continuation up through that natural resistance of 1050. 1 million shares. SGMS, this is a gambling and trying to take out that 35 and hold above 35. If it takes out 35.15 and holds 35, could be interesting on SGMS. SOHU, Sohu, looking for this one to take out 55. The high today on the name was 55.49, so you might want to wait for 55.50, 55.55 to get taken out. SQ, PayPal bounced, PYPL, that one popped today, right? Looks like that's breaking out over 60, so maybe SQ wants to follow also. So we'll see if we can get over that 20 SMA. Might not happen tomorrow. The 20 SMA is at 25.52, so watch that 25.50 break. TNDM, this is a name under $1. Looking for that 75-cent break on TNDM. TTPH coming up to the 20 SMA here, trying to break $6. The high was 601, so maybe 605 be enough. 1.8 million shares traded. Twitter, Snap has been recovering nicely, and for the life of me, I use Twitter every day. I love Twitter. I love Twitter better than anything out there for information, and I just don't understand why Twitter does not get going. I don't understand it. So Twitter though did hold this 1550, starting to turn back up. So maybe this is Twitter's time. We'll see. Hey man, run some ads or something. I will click on them. I don't care. Twitter is so good. That's just on a personal note. UMC, this is semiconductor name, trying to take out that 245. I'll watch this one. Never traded this one before. 3.3 million shares. We'll see how this sets up intraday. VRX, because of that insider purchase tonight. Not much action in the after hours, but we'll see. Maybe something might get going in the name tomorrow. Not a favorite. X, it's been basing, consolidating. Is Trump going to get his infrastructure agenda through or not? You see this tight wedge forming here. Your guess is as good as mine. Over 24.50, I guess. Maybe you get a continuation move. And what I'm saying is it's your guess as good as mine if Trump is going to get this infrastructure spending through. ZN, oil name. This one, trying to get up through that 350. Seems like, the buyers came in off of the 100 SMA here. So we kind of missed the boat. We should have gotten this one on the break of 3. So I'll be looking for a pullback. I did promise to talk to you about the API numbers that came out at 4:30, so hang on. So I'm no oil expert, but here's the API data, and it came out, and crude was a drawdown of 3.595 million barrels. So that seems like a positive, and gasoline was plus 1.40, distillate was plus 2 million, and Cushing, I guess that comes from Cushing. Where is Cushing? Cushing is in, oh God, hold on. Okay, sorry about that. And Cushing is in Oklahoma. And anyway, so that was minus 0.46. So these numbers, the numbers came out at 4:30. And let's just take a quick look and see what did oil do. Bring up this chart. So we'll just look at the USO real fast. And it, did pretty much nothing. So oil was flat. And we'll look at a daily chart of oil. So here's the daily chart of the USO. I just want to take a quick look at the USO, and we see, not much reaction in the after hours and not much of a bounce or anything today. And XOIL, the WTI, still can't get above, the 5 EMA, the 10 SMA here. So oil still, not doing much of anything, and names like Schlumberger still sliding, HAL. Still making, near lows. OIH, still near the lows, and OAS, CLR, trying to turn, but having CVX, the CEO is leaving, I think, September or end of August, so that popped a little bit, then sold off. And the mother of all oil companies, XOM, still lagging, still not doing much. So that's the watch list. That's your market report for tonight. Thank you so much for listening. This has been Zozostockwatch. You can follow me on Twitter. You can also follow me on StockTwits. And please click the like button if you like these videos, retweet them, subscribe if you're new to the channel. So click whatever you can click, leave comments. If you want me to look at a stock, leave comments in the box below. And thank you so much for the support for the YouTube channel. And see you on Twitter, see you on StockTwits, see you on YouTube, YouTubers. Have a great night and good day trading tomorrow.